Eom Business Network. So much for one broadcast.
Hello everyone, it's a very beautiful day and many thanks indeed for joining us. You're watching the Eom Business Network, indeed the voice of corporate Nigeria. I am Olorogo Elkanah Moware. Today on the program, we shall bring you a special focus on drilling contractors in Nigeria, a major support subsector of the oil and gas sector. Also on the lineup is Spot On with Chike Wagu, who is the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of NOVUS AGRO. And on the face-to-face is Dr. Aham Onyike, who is orthopedic surgeon and joint replacement specialist at the Center for Advanced Specialty Surgery. It's a package you must see. Sit back as we bring you the details. Oga for Property Investment Limited, one of the fastest growing real estate investment and marketing firms in Nigeria, with a mission to offer quality and affordable housing to its publics. Oga for Property Investment Limited specializes in sales and marketing of landed properties, residential and commercial, real estate development, project management, building and construction, architectural and structural designs. And our properties come with easy payment plans. Think property. Consult Oga for Property Investment Limited. Oga for Property Investment Limited. Increase in value. We are OAS Energy Services Limited, Nigeria's largest indigenous swap rig services provider. We provide technical and operational expertise across drilling rigs business and have successfully executed several oilfield contracts in Nigeria with excellent results. Over the years, we have delivered to the utmost satisfaction of our clients with our highly trained personnel in Nigeria and other partners across Africa, Europe, Canada, and the United States of America. This is OAS Energy Services Limited. Real estate practitioners in Nigeria have continued to express optimism in the growth of the industry in the country. Speaking on this is the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Dynamic JT Limited, Tochukwu Akanam. He speaks on the growth and development of the industry in Nigeria.
Real estate in Abuja is really doing well. It's growing and it's an open market for anybody that wants to come into it. It's a good business, it's lucrative, depending on the economy, what we have at the moment as a country. But the real estate business in Abuja is really, really nice. It's good. We have a project going on at Karimu by Turkish Hospital, Karimu district at Turkish Hospital. We have a set of terraces and lots of flats. We have one we are negotiating well to go into at Jahi. The proximity is next cash and carry. They are all affordable projects and viable at the same time.
Chief Executive Officer of Solar Affairs, Engineer Francis Oludemi, speaks on the possibilities of solar power displacing generators.
Of course, if I have been living without the generator for 15 years and without the NEPA, and I'm still living in Nigeria, it is very, very possible. I have a couple of clients too that they may not be 100% off these stuffs, but they are close to 80, 70% off. Those things only come up when some specific loads are to be put on. If we have the largest, in Africa Nigeria is the country that has the largest presence of the sunlight. So why can't we make use of that opportunity?
And that is the Eom Business Network News. The importance of the oil and gas drilling subsector of the Nigerian petroleum industry cannot be understated. Expectedly, the International Association of Drilling Contractors Nigeria, also known as IADC, was established to interface with government with a view to creating a friendly, conducive, and enabling business environment for operators of drilling business in Nigeria. Worrisome, however, is that in spite of the importance of drilling contractors in Nigeria, industry operators are still faced with challenges. ODENL is the chairman of the International Association of Drilling Contractors Nigeria.
It is easier for you to air your points, and it's easier for you to pass message across to regulators, and so we come together to be that advocating voice, continue to advocate for sensible regulations. And you have to have a voice in the industry. When people are making their own comments about the industry, you want to have a forum, a voice where you can also air your own part of your view. And thirdly, you want to make sure that you make sure people come together to begin to learn from one another with regards to the lessons learned in the way they do things safely. If you have a better safety system, it's a forum where you can share with other members so that they too improve on their safety standards and also environmental protection to make sure that we keep the environment as safe. But more importantly, in terms of operational efficiency, we want to make sure that we learn amongst ourselves how we do things better, how we do it in a more efficient manner, so that at the end the project we execute are done optimally with a high uptime in the activities we drill.
Dele Badijo is the Chief Executive Officer, OES Energy Services Limited.
We actually started IADC Nigerian chapter. We saw the need for an umbrella for all drilling contractors to have representation at the regulatory and legislative level. Before this time, everybody was doing their own thing, everybody going to Abuja to talk about things that will benefit the drilling contractor. And then we decided to form the chapter in Nigeria, and I'm happy under the leadership of the present chairman, we're starting to get some attention. It's only in Nigeria that you don't know who is a drilling contractor. If you want to know a doctor, you go to Nigerian Medical Association. They tell you who is a doctor. If it's about advertising, they are Advertising Practitioners Board. But for IADC, it's supposed to be the umbrella body for every drilling contractor. What we want to see is the government giving a lot of patronage to IADC. For example, if they want to register somebody on NIPEX as a drilling contractor, I believe it's only fair to consult with IADC to say who is a member of your association. The case is not so in Nigeria today.
Ufoma Imoniuru is the Managing Director, AVIAM Offshore.
The industry is beginning to pick up again, because the last 3 years we experienced low operations because of the price of crude oil in the foreign market. A lot of companies were not doing projects, so basically they were just they've been managing on the existing production. But it will come to a stage whereby the ones that you've been managing, you now need to work on them. I will say again, it has to do with finance as well. Because if the oil companies, they get the adequate finance to finance the operations, it will boost the industry. There will be more operations. NMBC and NAPIMS, through NAPIMS, they've been very helpful to the operating companies. But again, project financing. So basically, this is what we need to look into.
Chijioke Akukuma is the Managing Director of Ocean Deep Drilling ESV Nigeria Limited.
It is essentially a joint venture between the largest Nigerian nearshore drilling company, which has a proven track record for performance, the largest drilling contractor worldwide with the most technologically advanced fleet, advanced systems, and people. We are driven by a set of strong core values. So we, for example, we say that operational excellence is one of our core values, dedication to safety, ethical behavior, and teamwork. And we want to carry out our operations in such a way that we don't harm people, we don't harm the environment, and we don't destroy assets.
It all started with a dream to be the leading offshore drilling company in Nigeria. Ocean Deep Drilling ESV Nigeria Limited, also known as ODENL, is a joint venture partnership company formed by OES Energy Services Limited and ENSCO PLC to deploy and operate offshore drilling assets in Nigeria. NOVUS AGRO is a full-fledged agricultural market and professional services firm offering agro-based information and consulting services to all direct and indirect participants of the agricultural sector, with the goal of helping all involved in agricultural supply and value chain, ranging from individual subsistence farmers, farmer-based associations, processors and exporters, to blue-chip firms, to be successful by connecting with their problems and providing solutions. Our services include price information, commodity brokerage, market intelligence, value and supply chain discovery, and many more. Chike Wagu is the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of NOVUS AGRO.
We started off as a company called Esoko Nigeria. It was a franchise of a market information service company out of Ghana called Esoko. We're the Nigerian chapter. After about 3 years of running that, by 2012, end of 2012, we had decided that the Nigerian market was a lot more complex than the service offerings that we could provide as Esoko, and we decided to actually form the company NOVUS AGRO out of Esoko's experience. So since 2013, it's been called NOVUS AGRO, and it's evolved from then. Most smallholder farmers in sub-Saharan Africa, do not go to formal institutions to access credit. Most of the credit they use for planting or the investment in planting is either through family, friends, savings. Structured credit at times is better because it's impersonal, and the terms are usually well known to both parties. It's assumed that if there is an increase in credit, then there will be an increase in the kind of investments that is required to increase yields. So that's one thing we do. Now, what we do in that case is that we actually profile the farmers, register them, prepare them, put them in groups and everything in a way that it's a lot easier for banks that want to finance them to do so. The other thing we do as a corollary to this is the inputs. Most of this credit is not given as cash to farmers. It comes in the form of inputs. So we actually select the best inputs, best input providers, to make sure that the case of substandard inputs, is gradually done away with, and to assure that the yield that is expected at the end of the season is what farmers would get. So what we're doing is that for every party involved, we're de-risking the whole farming experience, and increasing investment in it, and hopefully increasing yield for the farmers at the end of the day. The truth is, you have to address the markets. In the 60s, you know, the heydays of agricultural glory in Nigeria, you know, you had marketing boards, you know. I think the death knell of agriculture in Nigeria started with the abolition of marketing boards, you know, because what farmers could do at that time was that they would produce, and their produce, even when it wasn't pre-processed here, had an international market value, so they could also get better value for whatever their produce was, and that gave them an incentive to continue to farm, you know. Every market or every endeavor in life is driven by incentives, you know. So you invest and you expect a profit. You farm, you expect a high yield, and even the high yield is not enough. You expect higher returns. That's the incentive. If we are able to fix the markets, you know, then agriculture will fix itself. The incentives will flow downwards and more people will find their space within the industry. Right now we're simply suffering because the proper incentives are not there, you know. Linkages to external markets are few and far between. You know, there are a few suspects, you know, the more popular ones, cashew, this, that, sesame and co. But the truth is that we have to do better than that. I think one of the biggest challenges that is being faced is that even locally, you know, we're not producing it enough to meet local demands.
The Center for Advanced Specialty Surgery, also known as CAS, is the premier innovative medical and surgical practice committed to providing advanced diagnostic and treatment options in the specialties of orthopedics, sports medicine, joint replacement, minimally invasive orthopedic surgery, arthroscopy, and reconstructive surgery. With the support of our network of United States trained board-certified surgeons, we provide solutions to local hospitals and primary care facilities, lead special medical missions, and give access to advanced specialty medical and surgical care. Our services and specialties include Dr. Aham Onyike is the orthopedic surgeon and joint replacement specialist at the Center for Advanced Specialty Surgery.
It's a very rigorous process. Medical school anywhere in the world is demanding. I can only speak of my own experience, which was in the US. So it resulted in a lot of long hours, late nights, reading, trying to be in a competitive position to pass the exams, and then to qualify to be accepted into an orthopedic residency required one, not just pass, but pass with a score that was considered competitive. So that was difficult to put in the work, you know, day in and day out for a long stretch. It resulted in some sacrificing of personal time, relationships, other opportunities for leisure or pleasure activity through the years. So that was one of the main challenges. Also in the US, it's an expensive process, going to school there, and so it resulted in me taking out student loans, which put me in some degree of debt coming out of training. It wasn't always a perfect fit, and it required, you know, learning as one went along and adjusting to, you know, circumstances sometimes harsher than they needed to be.
We have two strong arms of our surgical services: orthopedic and spine practice, and the plastic reconstruction services. We are able to offer the full range of orthopedic services. We We do joint replacements, simple and complex primary joint replacements. We do revision surgeries for knees and hips. We're able to offer patients surgeries for complex fractures and complications that have risen from poorly managed fractures. We're able to offer patients more than conservative care for spine-related problems. We're able to offer them surgery where surgery is required. And in the plastic and reconstructive department, people are becoming more aware now of their body and they want to do something. And we have board-certified plastic surgeons who come into the country and they're able to offer a very safe and affordable plastic and reconstructive surgical options for people who would want it. And it's not just women. Men also come in and they have one or two adjustments. And then people who have problems like scars from burns, people who have chronic leg ulcers and require large reconstructive procedures also benefit from these services.
A number of reasons. I think I would probably say all over the world there's a natural fear of, undergoing surgery, similar to flying on a plane, and so I think in Nigeria, unfortunately, there are certain things that below the standard that they need to be in some places, and even though there are multiple places where the standards are on par with where they need to be, we as a country, as a society, haven't done a good enough job at equalizing the standards across the board. And so what happens is that some people fall in the wrong hands or in the wrong places and end up with disastrous problems, and that tends to be what gets into the public domain. The bad cases, the bad results, the ones that are able to result in some sort of sensational news. And I think more often than not, that's what people hear. And the ones that happen without any bad outcomes are usually not heard. So there's an imbalance between what the public hears. Yeah, so I think patients should look for the level of training of the surgeon. The surgeon should be fully trained and experienced in the kind of surgery they're offering their patients. The level of training may not always be difficult to ascertain, but I'll encourage patients to ask those questions of their surgeons and gain confidence in the level of the training of the surgeon and the level of experience before and after surgery. I think there's quite a few factors, and most hospitals, I'll imagine, will meet that criteria, but those are some of the extra things that patients should think about as they prepare for major surgeries such as joint replacement procedures.
DPKAY Homes and Property Limited. Easy access to homes and properties ownership, comfort, security, and wealth. DPKAY Homes and Property Limited, an award-winning real estate company in Nigeria that offers top-notch and innovative services through the provision of quality and affordable homes, sales and documentation of landed properties, real estate brokerage, legal advice on real estate matters, facilities management, building and construction, and so many more. Come over to DPKAY Homes and Property Limited, Suite 1, Level 4, Dominion Plaza, Lekki Expressway, Agogi area, Lekki, Lagos. Telephone 090-9939-0000 or 090-8575-0000. Better still, you can log on to www.dpkhomes.com. DPKAY Homes and Property Limited, a total homes and property solution. And that's it on today's package of the EOM Business Network. Thank you very much for spending your valued time with us. We just hope it was worth your while. But just in case you missed out on any aspect of it, then you can call with us to eomcoms.com and any of our other feedback portals, as you can see on the screen. Our deep gratitude to you, our sponsors, for your continued interest and support. Always remember, with you and us, we are champs. Oh yes. I remain Olorogo Elkanah Moari. Please come with us. Let's do it again, same time, same channel next week. We'll see you then.